Well, welcome everybody. I'm Steve Himmelweck. I'm the instructor for HUM 140, or Introduction to the Humanities. This video is just to give you a very brief snapshot, if you will, of the course and a little bit about me. There'll be more information to follow. There'll be more information about me if you go to the My Instructor link, which is on the left-hand side of Blackboard, right underneath this area, which is called Start Here, as you know by now. You can find a little bit more about me than what I'll give you. And obviously, there'll be all sorts of links to look at through the course, including the syllabus, which you'll want to look at closely, among other things. I will get into this in more detail in a video next week, during which I'll go over the video, I'll go over the syllabus, and I will also prepare you for the first discussion, which really just asks you what you think the humanities are about, and then to reply to some others about what their takes were to get us used to the discussion. So we won't be dealing specifically with the content this time. The content will, and one thing to note is that the weeks 1 and 2 are combined because week 1 starts on Wednesday. So it's a week and a half, really. So there's a little bit of reading. I think you'll find it interesting. The first bit is about introduction to ancient Greek culture, but more specifically, it's going to be about Greek mythology, religion to a lesser extent, because mythology, as we think of it, and their religion are kind of the same things these days, and Greek theater and their role in Greek culture. But that's for us to cover down the road. For right now, as I mentioned, I'm Steve Himmelweck, and I've been teaching at FM. This is my 13th year. And I teach humanities, obviously. I also teach a course in music, survey of popular music in the United States, in America. That's a humanities course as well, be offered next semester. I teach English courses, English 1 and 2 generally. I haven't taught a different English course in a while because I also teach the philosophy courses here, Introduction to Philosophy, Ethics, and Aesthetics, which is Introduction to Philosophy of Arts. So I'm kind of a jack of all trades, if you will. Okay, so if you want to know more about me, you obviously can look at the My Instructor link for that. A couple of things I do want to mention, just as we're here in the Start Here area, definitely do take a look at the Blackboard navigation video so you know how to navigate through Blackboard generally. That's going to be really important since we're doing this remotely. You're going to have to be able to be comfortable with getting through Blackboard. So definitely take a look at that video if you haven't yet. And you'll see there's some good links about strategies for successful studying online. There's a video about avoiding plagiarism, which, it can happen unintentionally, hopefully. Discussion etiquette, how to have be civil and how to word ourselves properly in discussions. There'll be a great deal of discussion in this class. That in many ways is sort of our most prominent weekly activity. We don't have discussions on weeks where we have an exam. And the last module of the semester is broken up into 4 modules, if I'm not mistaken, where the last one we'll be working on a project where we won't have discussions. You'll sort of give a little progress report of where you're at for those last 2 or 3 weeks, and we'll talk more about that when we get to the syllabus. So discussion etiquette, and there's also a really good link called Request 365. What that means is Request Office 365. It basically shows you how to request basically the entire Office suite by Microsoft. That's Word, PowerPoint, Excel, OneNote, Publisher. It's actually a very expensive program, and you get it for free. Well, your tuition actually kind of pays for it, but why not download it? You might use Google Docs, maybe use another platform. Generally speaking, I think you're going to find the Microsoft stuff is the best there is for this sort of thing. Maybe you prefer Page. You could make an argument for Pages and some of the Apple stuff, but it's the standard for academics, for academic context in school. So why not download it? You have 3 years to use from the date which you get the license. And if you're still at FM 3 years later, you can renew. If not, you can use it if you're somewhere else up through 3 years, I believe, if not even longer. And the other thing in this Start Here area is something called Tech Help, Tech Info and Help. Basically, give information about sort of the specs and the technology related to Blackboard, some of the technological resources out there for you, and places to get help. So these are all really important things at which to look, and to hope you do so. Once you've done that, the next thing you want to do is go to the first link you will see right underneath it in what's called a course menu, and that's the course syllabus. Read it carefully. It is detailed. It is a bit long. I also detail the nature of the organization of the course in terms of the left-hand toolbar and how it speaks to the organization in it as well. It's very detailed because, first of all, I can't go through this with you in class as we normally would. You'll see when you read the syllabus every Friday at 1 o'clock, unless there's something getting in the way of that, and I'll reschedule it. We'll have a live session where students log in, and we'll have a live class together for an hour. It's not mandatory. I will record them. However, there's an incentive. If you, for each one you make and you stick through the entire hour, you receive a point toward the final grade of that module exam. At least for the first 3 modules, we have an exam. So that's an incentive to be there. It'd be great for us to be able to talk and discuss. And in many ways, you'll see that I'll make videos every week to really go through a lot of the content, where the videos, I'll get to some specifics, but really also as a place for us to talk and discuss and ask questions. With that, so make sure you read the syllabus carefully, because not only will it provide the details of the course, but it will also, well, it's a contract between you and me and the school and SUNY, right? So we want to make sure we know what the expectations, requirements, expectations are, and we don't, find ourselves unpleasantly surprised. Now, one other thing I'll just mention about discussions is, besides the almost weekly discussions, at least for the first 3 modules, except for the weeks we have exams, there's also in the weekly folders which will exist. So there's modules 1, 2, 3, and 4, and in each of those modules are weekly folders. In each of those weekly folders, you'll see the link to the live session. You'll also see a link to virtual office hours. I have 2 a week, one on Thursday, one on Friday, what would be normally what we call common hours during if we had normal face-to-face school. And that's where we can actually have real office hour, where we can talk to one another as we're in my office. But there's also a link where it's sort of like a discussion, and this you don't have to do it. There's no points associated with it, where it's like raising your hand in class. And if you have a question about something in the class, about an assignment, about a due date, about a procedure, it'd be great if you can ask it there so the entire class can see the question. Maybe somebody had not thought of the question, or somebody had thought of the question but was hesitant to ask. Well, here's where I or anybody in the class can offer some advice, some responses towards that to get us on the right page. So I really hope that if you can ask questions in that sort of request assistance link or discussion board, but if you have something of a more personal, specific nature and you really want to keep it just between you and me, you can always contact me by way of email or through course institution messages, and I can get it to you that way as well. We can give you a response. Okay, so as I mentioned, the first, you'll see video, at least, well, 2 videos I'm sure next week. One will go over the syllabus, one will detail go over some of the content of that week and preview the discussion. And do note that there will be videos every week, usually 1 a week, sometimes 2, where I will sort of go through the material. And I'll sort of make a PowerPoint, I'll go through the material, and you'll have that there to, and I'll overview the material. I'm not going to go through everything, but I'll give you an outline of it to look at to help you through the content. So look for that. Make sure you log into Blackboard at least 2 or 3 times a week, more than that if possible, because any changes, announcements, right, if you're not on Blackboard, you won't see them. Now, you can have announcements come to your phone, I believe, but you really want to get in the habit of logging in every day, to be honest with you, if possible. So with that then, I think that's probably enough of this. Again, make sure to look at the syllabus, look through the rest of the Start Here material, begin looking at on the course textbook. That was the last thing I wanted to mention, I'm sorry, which is it's an open educational resource. It's embedded here in the course You don't have to pay for anything in terms of materials. You could certainly print this stuff out if you want, the course textbook. I don't have it as a PDF file yet. I'm hoping to get one made by Lumen. That's who helped me put it together. But you can always print this stuff out. If you were to print out the entire textbook, it would probably cost you no more than $15. If you prefer to read, you could do it, you could copy and paste it into a Word document or any document and print out that way if you want, but you don't have to. So that's also there, and you can begin to take a look at that as well. Okay, so that's enough there. I'll get into more specifics next week with the video and our live session. And if you have questions along the way, please never hesitate to contact me. I will get back to you as soon as I can, and I'd rather you ask me questions than not, right? So we want to make sure that everybody's clear. I look forward to the semester with you and getting started, and I'll see you soon.